will look great on you. Every time you shop here, you have the power to change lives.
Does she work here?
No, she's just a proud supporter of Goodwill.
Your donation is changing lives.
Does he work here?
No, he's just a proud supporter of Goodwill.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Veronica Brandon Miller and this is Goodwill, Minnesota's Tell Me Something Good, the show that shares the good that's happening in our community. And yes, there is a lot of good and we have a lot of good people on the show today. But I want to remind you that if you want to hear even more good news, tune in to WSRQ today at 11 o'clock and hear Goodwill, Minnesota's Tell Me Something Good radio show. And also check out Suncoast Living magazine this month because it'll highlight all of our guests and all the special and good information that they share on our show. And with that, why don't we dive right into good news? And our two guests today are Samantha Hobbs from Canada Med Services, which is a great program. I can't wait for you to hear about it. You've been on the show before, but there's always something new. So I'm so glad you're back. And then also we have Arthur Lerman. Oh man, nailed it. From ITN Suncoast, which stands for?
Independent Transportation Network.
Excellent.
And it's great to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're both here. And the topic of today is about services we have in the community. And in particular, and thank you for those who do write in, those who have sent us some messages, asked what kind of special programs do we have in the community that's unique? And we have two amazing, unique programs and services for those who need that extra hand up, not a handout. So why don't we start with ITN?
Sure. We're a local nonprofit, and our mission is to provide rides to people who either don't ride out of choice or sort of out of practicality. So we provide rides to anyone 60 years old and older, or any adult with a vision impairment. We provide rides for any reason to anywhere within Sarasota and Manatee counties at any time of the day or night, on any day of the week. And so our mission is to provide people transportation so that they can continue to live joyful and meaningful lives when driving themselves is not practical or safe. So there are two sides to what we do. One is really keeping people connected to the community, and the other is helping to keep the community safe by giving people a transportation option when driving themselves is not the best idea. And
what's the difference between Ubering, a cab or?
Well, there are a couple of differences. First of all, we're not an on-demand service. Second, we provide a very different service than Uber does. We provide whatever support an individual needs to get from their home to the car and from the car to their destination. Also, all of our drivers are screened and trained. Most of our riders are in their 80s and 90s, so they do require and need special attention, and we're there to provide that to them. Also, most of the folks who we provide rides to don't have smartphones. They don't have cell phones for that matter, and they certainly don't have smartphones. So access to Uber really isn't there. But our service is also, it's as much about relationships as it is about anything else. You know, our drivers are mostly volunteers. Many of them are retirees. There's a real bond that gets created between our riders and the folks in our office who take ride requests, as well as our drivers who tend to give people, you know, the same people rides, so they develop a relationship. So it's more than just getting from point A to point B. It's also that socialization piece.
Sure.
Yeah. So
can you call and say, you know, I want Tom?
They can. People are welcome to make requests.
I don't know who Tom is, but I assume there's a Tom.
Yeah, actually, there is a Tom.
Okay, good.
Good guess.
There's always a Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a
But
Tom.
it is. It's about relationships. And then you feel, I mean, you're already stressed out. You can't drive yourself.
Yeah.
So having this service and a friendly face and someone that heard your story the last time they took you to the doctors, and just the follow through. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it makes a big difference. And just to make sure everybody understands, we provide rides for any reason. So it's everything from going to church on Sunday to going to doctor's appointments to going shopping, food shopping. We take we take one woman to yoga class 4 days a week, to Tai Chi, to the theater. Again, we provide rides during the day as well as in the evening. So people go to birthday parties. They can have friends over to their house. And we'll provide rides to people going to visit our members. So really, there's no limit on the type of ride, the reason for a ride. And so it really opens up a whole new world for people who, when they finally give up the keys, can really have a difficult time adjusting to not having the independence that being able to drive affords all of us. So it's really, it's just a very wonderful experience for everybody.
Well, what about so cost, really comes down to cost. Like, why would someone pick ITN Suncoast than a cab?
Well, it actually, it's a combination. It's not just cost, if you don't mind me saying so.
No, but yeah,
for those. There's a quality of the experience that's very different. When you're taking a cab, you don't know who's going to pick you up. You don't know,
I know.
lot of things
There's a lot
about them.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
And also, they are not going to get out of the car and provide people the kind of support that many of our riders need at this point. And so there's a fundamental difference. In terms of cost, unfortunately, while we're a nonprofit, we still have expenses, so we still need to charge people. We work hard to keep our costs down as much as possible so that more people in the community can afford the service. And so there is a cost. We have an annual membership fee, and then there's a cost on a per ride basis. But there's no money exchange at the time of a ride. We have people put money on account, and we send people monthly statements. We cover about 60% of our expenses through the fares and the membership fees that we collect, and then we fundraise and grant write for the balance of it. If all of a sudden, we were to get a great donation, then we would look to lower our prices so that even more people could afford it. And one last thing I'll throw out about this is we also have what we call the Road Scholarship Program, which is for people on limited incomes. It's a different pricing structure that is much less than our normal charges. Because we recognize that everybody needs transportation. Everybody has things they need to do and things they want to do. And so when we get enough donations to be able to support the program, we add new people to the Road Scholarship Program. And like I said, we give them rides at a significantly reduced cost, and typically at a cost that's affordable by them.
That's fabulous.
So yeah, we're here to serve the community. And so we do our best to fulfill the needs of people who fit into the categories of folks we provide services to.
And I know one of my dear friends, Linda Gould, you're helping her mother get to some places, and she called and she's like, Veronica, I don't know if you know about ITN, they're fabulous, this is amazing. And then I went on your website to find out more information, and it's such a jewel in this community. And we have an older population, as everyone knows. So having the security and the comfort of, how do you say it?
Yeah.
That, a relationship.
Yeah. Giving up the keys is a very difficult decision. And what I remind people is what it was like when you were a teenager. When all of a sudden you had access to the world. When either you got the keys or a friend of yours got the keys and you were gone. Sort of your world just opened right up. And so at the other end of the age spectrum, giving up those keys is a very, very difficult decision. And so we're there to help make it easier. In the case of Ethelyn, I've given her a few rides, and she just said we were a lifesaver for her, that she's a very active woman, that she does all sorts of things. She's actually one of the people we take the Tai Chi class. And she said, when she first stopped driving, it was very difficult for her, but that learning about us and getting rides from us just reopened her world so that she can now do all the things that that she loves. And so it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful contribution that we make to people, and it's very gratifying. It's gratifying whether you're a volunteer driver or whether you're someone who simply works in the office taking ride requests and figuring out how to fulfill all those ride requests. Let me just add one thing. We recently expanded our service area literally in the last few weeks, so that we're now providing rides to anyone who wants to go anywhere within both Sarasota and Manatee counties. A few years ago, we were called ITN Sarasota. When it started in 2010, we only serviced Sarasota and Venice, and in the last couple years, we kept getting ride requests from people saying, gee, we need your service. Please come to our community. And so the board of directors has made the decision a few times to expand our service area. So we now serve all of Sarasota and Manatee County. So we're excited and pleased to be able to, support the community that way.
Supply and demand.
You got
So how many volunteers do you have?
We have 32 volunteer drivers. We're going to provide 10,000 rides this year.
Wow.
And I think we're really still scratching the surface. There are 60,000 people living year-round in Manatee and Sarasota counties who are 80 years old and older. 60,000. We have 350 members, so there's a little bit more sort of market penetration, if you will.
Right.
Which means that we would be providing that many more rides. To keep costs down, and really in the spirit of the service we provide, we rely to a large extent on volunteer drivers, and we always need more volunteer drivers.
So how can someone reach out to you if they want to become a volunteer?
They can check out our website at www.itnsuncoast.org, or they can call us at 941-364-7530. So they can either...
Oh, wow, I wish if they had a pen. You said that really fast. Thankfully, it's on the screen.
Great. Oh, sorry about that.
That's fine.
But you can either apply online or apply by phone. We make it very easy for volunteers. Whatever works for people. We're very flexible, very appreciative of volunteers. And so you just give us a sense of your availability, and then we always confirm the rides the day before. We call all of our riders the day before to tell them who their driver will be, and we always check with our drivers the day before to make sure that they're still available within the window of availability that they've given us. So,
Sure.
So we'll take an hour every few weeks, an hour a month, and it's a rewarding experience for our drivers, but it also makes a huge difference for our riders, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And, you said something perfect as a segue, helping. This whole premise is providing exceptional services in our community to help those in need. And Samantha at Canada Med Services is providing exactly that. And no, she didn't fly all the way from Canada to be here.
Nope.
But why don't we talk about the services you provide?
So what we do is we work very much, as you had said, with seniors, primarily seniors, but we also work with anyone that needs our
Me.
assistance. You, yes,
Yes.
you're a perfect person. And we help people save money on prescription medications. So we work with several pharmacies who we are able to get a valid U.S. doctor's prescription to the pharmacy, who then will fill, bill, and ship the medications directly back to that customer. And then if there's any issues with shipping or problems, they call us. So we're the face in the place locally here, that a doctor can call us if they have any questions. We are here if there's issues with shipping. We take care of all those types of things. Not that it happens often, but it's much easier for someone to have a local person taking care of the sort of the workings of the process than having them have to call on their own. So that's the service we provide. And then we also have a program where once you place an order with us, as you know, we'll call you so that you have enough time to utilize the mail order system, because using mail order pharmacy typically takes 2 to 3 weeks for shipping. So we help you track and manage that so that you don't run out of medications. So, we are not for everybody. Where we really help people is when our seniors go into the donut hole, or also known as the gap with Medicare D, where all of a sudden their $5 or $10 copay becomes much more costly, and they're on their own until they get out, which, they may or may not before the end of the year. But we're also for people that are facing the challenges now with changes in healthcare, with medications coming off plan altogether, or medications maybe going from a $5 copay to maybe an $80 or $100 copay, which totally changes the landscape of someone's budget with what they need to do with their prescriptions. So we're really here to fill that gap when someone needs help. Of course, we offer a free seminar that we give to businesses. We've worked with nonprofits with the Goodwill, Senior Friendships, so I've done several there. But it's the 10 best tips to save on prescription medications. Number 10 is me. So there's 9 other ways to save locally here, whether you're using Public's wonderful prescription plan where they offer free medications, to working with your doctor on alternative therapies, to using the Good Samaritan Pharmacy, using Costco and BJ's. Many people don't know that they allow you to go in and use their pharmacy even though they're not a member. And for a lot of seniors, that's great news, because most of those seniors do not need necessarily to have a membership to a Costco or a BJ's, because it's just too much. They're not needing to buy in that quantity as many families do. However, they can utilize the pharmacy without having membership. So that's something a lot of people aren't aware of. So through this 10 Best Tips seminar, it's a way for us to share some of those strategies to help utilize your insurance that you're paying for, or your Medicare D and your supplements, to the best advantage, and avoid falling into those pitfalls that you might not realize could happen to you.
Well, and I'm one of your clients, and when I first met Canada Med Services, Goodwill was selected as a charity of choice, and this is a great program that they also have. So why don't we talk about that?
So in hearing and listening to our seniors, and again, we've both faced those challenges of limited resources, change in scope of what they're able to do. They said, it's terrible to be on a fixed income, and it's terrible to have my prescriptions eating up my availability. I was fine yesterday, I went to the doctor today, and now I have a $300 line item in my budget because I've just been put on this medication. So that means something has to go, whether it's the taxi or the donation or the out to dinner or the theater, something has to go. So with that, we came up with Charity of Choice. So it's our way of working with primarily our seniors, but all of our customers have the option. And we've selected 32 nonprofit organizations in Manatee and Sarasota County, Goodwill being one of them. And what we do is we give our customers the option to select one of those 32. And each time they place an order, we make a donation back to that charity. And so it's in its 6th year, just coming into its 6th year, and we've raised almost $26,000 for these through our customers supporting it. We make the donation, not the customer on their behalf. But $26,000, it's pennies, but it's driving donations, and pennies counts. If you ask, I'm sure any nonprofit would agree.
Absolutely.
A check for $30 a quarter is better than no check at all. So that's really what we tried to do. And we did an application process. So the nonprofits were sent a letter what we were doing over a 2-year period, and then we looked at them, and we tried to really balance out between the arts, the humanities, kids, animals. So there's a good selection. So something for everyone we tried to do. It's hard because there's so many wonderful organizations and causes in this community. But we've selected, this is who we ended up with, and we feel we've done quite well. And we like to celebrate our nonprofits every year. You've been to our celebration of Charity of Choice, where we give a party for the nonprofits as a way of celebrating all of the hard work that the people that work for and run and support and drive, the ability for people to benefit. So
What I love is exactly what you said. Good corporate social responsibility. You're a business, but you want to give back, and you found a way to win-win.
Right.
To help the organization, but also to help you so you can do more.
Right.
And thank you for everything you do with Goodwill and all these other charities.
I truly feel that our customers you know, it's one thing to see the smile because they're able to get their medications, but it's another thing to take it to that next level. And as you were saying, I think the experience, the personal relationship. So Uber, you're getting in the car and you're driving down the road and get out. With you, you're getting out, your hand's being held all the way through and then all the way back. And we try and feel the same way. So it's not just the experience of saving money, it's the next level of being able to still be connected and taking that fear and making it a happy experience and feeling good about it.
Yeah, because like you said, well, older Americans, but also me, and I'll give my, as an example. So my healthcare changed, and then they discovered, oh, I'm sorry, Nexium, we won't pay for Nexium, you have to do the generic. And I tried the generic and it wasn't the same, but for me to purchase it with my insurance was $400. And I called Canada Med and I'm like, what could you do? And they said, well, we can get you Nexium for $80. What? Yeah, why wouldn't I go through you? And I have insurance.
Right.
So just
that's-
knowing that this is another,
Right.
you know,
and that's
choice.
a perfect example of where you fell into that niche. You know, of course you want to use your insurance, but if you can't afford it or if you don't have it, then, you know, it's the solution. So,
right.
perfect example.
And-
Glad we were able to help you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I think that what people are looking for these days are people they can trust. You know, we're bombarded by people who are trying to sell us stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
And it's scary.
And I think when you can offer something that people, where people know that you're looking out for their best interest, that they can trust you to protect their best interest, it makes all the difference in the world. And I think that's what you have to offer, Samantha, and that's what we try to do at ITN Suncoast, is really that people get that it's more than, we're not selling rides. You know,
Right.
we're not an Uber, we're not a taxi. We charge less than those, but really what distinguishes us is that relationship and that level of comfort and trust that people experience when they work with us.
And I would bet I can see myself, if I had an elderly person in my life that I had to take care of, I can see myself saying, you know what, I'd rather know and be able to talk to somebody like your organization and know every week my mother, my uncle, or whomever I was helping would get a ride safely, get taken to the door if they needed to be, helped with their packages. And that's what you're not going to get, because it's the nature of the beast to just not be a ride, but be the service.
Yeah, we
and
give
you're
them-
right, the trust is huge.
It is, and we give them rides to your office so that they can save a little bit more
There you
money that
go.
way, too.
Hey, yeah.
There you go.
See, I think I would go to the gym more if you picked me up.
Yeah,
No,
me too, right? Maybe we could all run behind.
If we just sat on the horn outside your house saying, all right.
is that for me?
It's
Yeah, that's
time.
for me. That's so funny. And that's why I paired you two together today, because it is services in our community that's trusted and valued and show that they really, really care about you and making sure that you're healthier, that you're going to your doctor's appointments, that you are taking your medication that you can afford. So this is a happy, see? This is
Happy.
what the
It's
whole
happy.
show's about.
Happy, happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't we say your website one more time? You don't have to say www.
Sure, it's IT as in Tom, N as in Nancy, suncoast.org, and our phone number is 941-364-7530.
There you go. And thank you for saying it slow. And how can they reach you?
You can reach us by phone with any questions or just to get a price quote. We aren't going to take your name or phone number. If you just want to call us to get the information, we're happy to provide it. You can reach us at 941-927-3600.
And yeah, and I, again, implore everyone, look for these services. We have such a philanthropic community that cares. So on that, if you do have time to show your philanthropy, reach out and volunteer for ITN Suncoast. And now I'm going to bring it back to Goodwill. As you know, Goodwill supports people in our community and provides jobs. So every time you donate or shop, you help us to create jobs. And we have a fundraiser coming up next week, July 22nd, Little Black Dress with Pop. And to show how you can get a little black dress at Goodwill, attend this luncheon, and add your pop. We have the beautiful Chloe, who is a youth ambassador, showing how you can take a black dress, put this blue, I don't know, what do you call it, Sam? Jacket?
call that a shawl,
shawl, whatever you call it. It looks lovely on her.
shawl jacket?
Exactly, a shawl jacket. But something black, make it pop. And all this can be available less than $10. Everything less than $10 at Goodwill. Now look at what Chloe's doing now. She took this beautiful, gorgeous scarf. So now you're not just seeing a black dress, you're seeing pop. Isn't that gorgeous? Lovely. She's a beautiful model. And again, tickets are now available at experiencegoodwill.org, but they're selling out fast, so make sure you get them. July 22nd is our little black dress. And you know, with a little black dress, you don't want to wear a shawl or something. Well, look at what Chloe's doing now. Wear that big, chunky jewelry. That's going to make a statement, and that's fabulous. So again, do you have your little black dress, Sam?
I have to go get it. I'm going shopping.
Well, and again,
At Goodwill.
At Goodwill.
At Mecca.
Yes. So thank you, Chloe, because you know she gave me an idea. I could put on a little rose and beef up my little black dress.
There you go.
Do you like it? Or I put
do.
it in the
Nice.
hair. Put it
In the hair?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So no matter what it is, make sure that you go out to Goodwill and get your little black dress, get your tickets, and support these wonderful organizations and businesses in our community that are giving back. So again, if you have any great ideas on providing good in the community, good services, or you have a good story, please reach out to me at experiencegoodwill.org and we'll include it in hopefully one of the next shows. So again, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, and you know, what you're doing is really making a difference. And I am so grateful for Linda, who brought you to my attention.
Yeah.
You do also partner, I don't want to miss out on this, you do partner with Loveland and...
Yeah, we provide rides to any adult with a vision impairment, and we're doing more and more work in supporting folks with disabilities to be able to get jobs and to be able to keep jobs. So we're working with Loveland, we'll work with other organizations in making sure that, you know, once people get a job, that they can go back and forth to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for all you do. And remember, today at 11 o'clock, turn on WSRQ, and we're going to continue this conversation. And if you have any questions, you'll be able to call in and find out exactly how to use their services. So again, thank you so much for all you do. And join us next week for Goodwill Minnesota's Tell Me Something Good, and we'll share additional good information.
As a combat veteran, I support Goodwill because they help our veterans reintegrate back into the civilian workforce, and they create jobs in our community.
I support Goodwill because every time I donate, they give me the power to change lives. Lives like Leonzo's here.